target. We were told that, well, they'd like to announce it on a Sunday, then they'd like to do it on a morning, they like to do it in the middle of the day. Then it ended up being at 8, 9 o'clock at night, which was literally the worst on a Monday, which was literally like the worst case scenario in all the planning leading up to that. People have always asked me, and I guess probably what you're getting at is like, how much was the governor's office or anybody from them involved in it?
Because the thought process was that there was some coordinated plan that this was going to be rolled out so that the least amount of damage could be done.
And that was really, that was led by, the quote unquote unified command. Chief Belmar, our chief, was involved. There was some political aspects of that, which, that was trying to be negotiated out to try to calm residents, whichever way it went. And those things really never synced up. There was the hope that leaders in the area would call for calm and support whatever the Justice Department, or rather whatever the grand jury said.
Right.
That really didn't happen.
You're saying there was some talk, but nothing was ever planned out.
When it all came down to it, it's like 3 o'clock on Monday. They say, hey, they're going to announce it, and that was contrary to everything we'd hoped to plan for leading up to that.
Now, the day it's announced, there is a story that you made a couple of phone calls. Take us through the story that is told that is it true that you tried to get a hold of Governor Nixon?
Absolutely.
That night. What happened? Take us through that story.
So we ended up, my city manager, myself, and one of the council members, and a couple of us ended up kind of held up in one of the council members' houses together, not knowing what was happening around town. The city manager, myself, we both started calling contacts that we had to try to get through to somebody. Once we saw that it appeared that they were being overrun. I mean, what was going on South Florissant Road was bad enough. West Florissant Road seemed literally unprotected. They started lighting fires up and down the street, and that's really what you saw most of the damage was.
Sure.
When I couldn't get through to any contact number I had, and I had a conversation with Claire McCaskill. Claire has always taken my calls.
Right.
I mean, middle of the night we've talked. And here's a Republican giving her props. She was very helpful. She called General Danner, the adjutant general. So we tried every avenue to get through.
You tried to get to the governor.
To the governor to tell them to release, or ask them to release the troops who at the time, and again talking about the planning leading up to, we were always told that they would be staged at the West Florissant and Lucas and Hunt Schnucks, essentially, the Westfall Plaza. That's where they were staged before. That's where they would be staged again. They were not staged there. So by the time the call actually came out, and we finally heard from the Unified Command through our liaisons that they would be deployed, they literally had to get them up off their cots out at the airport, get them in a bus, and drive them here. By that time, I think it was 1 or 2 in the morning. The damage had long been done.
Did you ever get a hold of Governor Nixon that night?
No.
Never got a hold. But you did talk to Claire McCaskill trying to get to Governor Nixon.
I talked to Roy. I talked to Claire. Peter Kinder called me at 3 in the morning. He was in D.C. at the time.
Right.
I left him some messages. We tried every avenue. John Deal, who was also a friend.
Speaker of the House.
I spoke to John Deal. I spoke to just about everybody that night, or left messages for them, imploring them to call.
Have you since spoken to Governor Nixon?
No.
You've never spoken to Governor Nixon since that night?
No.
How often did you speak to Governor Nixon before that night?
Only actually had 2 meetings, I would say. One at Greater Grace Church, one at UMSL, with another group of mayors. But we've never met.
You've never met? You've never had a one-on-one conversation with the governor?
Never, no.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Wow. It was rumored that he was on the phone with the White House talking to Susan Rice. Can you confirm nor deny that? Have you heard that story?
I think the rumor I heard, was Valerie Jarrett.
Valerie Jarrett. I'm
you're
sorry.
right. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So you heard the same rumors I have.
Yeah, there was clearly somebody else, I think, calling the shots that night.
Yeah. Wow. That is interesting. And then they took the police or the firefighters off of the ladders because of the fire, because there was no police and or National Guard helping them.
Oh yeah, we had bullet holes in several of our trucks, and a lot of the guys in the area, all the firefighters were wearing vests that night. The EMS was. They were taking fire. I mean, it was absolutely an untenable situation for them to be able to fight that fire and keep themselves safe.
James Knowles, mayor of Ferguson. So you've had more of a conversation with us than you have had with Governor Nixon since that night.
Yeah, I like it that way.
James Knowles, we'll let you get back to work. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks, McGraw.
Mayor of Ferguson, 951 here, Big 550 KTRS. You need a good night's sleep. You need the bedroom store. You need to go in and ask about the iZone bed. 14 different chambers filled with water, specifically for your body type and your sleep pattern. Then they're stuffed inside a memory foam mattress. You sleep all night, rested and ready to go. In fact, that mattress is set up so that your temperature, your body temperature, stays cool. That is probably the most important thing to a good night's sleep is your body temperature. It has to stay cool. If you start sweating, who can sleep like that? The bedroom store and Denny Boyd knows all about it. They've invented the iZone bed. They've gotten away from all the gimmicks, and they just kept the good sleep technology. This is a test market, if you will, and the results are in. Everybody loves the iZone bed. You get 60 nights to test it out. I needed about 5 minutes, and I realized how much I love this. The iZone bed, go to the iZonebed.com website. Read all the reviews. These are true and accurate depictions of people who use the iZone bed. You get 60 nights to test it out. You don't have to spend a fortune, and you don't have to go to a mall, and you don't have to put batteries in your remote for your bed. The bedroom store has your next bed to get you a well-rested night's sleep. The iZonebed.com at the bedroom store or thebedroomstore.com.
This is McGraw Live on KPLR 11.2, STLtoday.com,